The Eduro LMS is designed in a simple yet intuitive manner, allowing admins to save time by automating quizzes. Here's how you can create your own quizzes. First, I need to locate the module where my topic is associated. Remember, quizzes are attached through the topic section of Eduro, and topics belongs to a module. So on the admin section, I will click modules, then I will locate the specific module where my topic is linked. Once I found it, I will click on the edit button on its far right, and then on the top of the page, we'll select the topics tab so that I'll be able to view all associated topics on this module. By the way, this is the same page where I can add additional topic by clicking on the Add a Topic button on the top right. And here's also where I can add a new resource on some existing topic. As discussed on the previous tutorial, quizzes and resources goes hand in hand to form a topic. However, depending on your preference, tutors and admins can have quizzes on every topic, or just one final assessment for the module, or even on the entire course. For this tutorial, I will only have one final assessment for the entire module, which I will link to what I think is the hardest subject amongst my 3 topics. So I will first rearrange the topics by using this arrow cross icon. I will click on it and just drag it according to my order. Now I need to click the save button in order to have it in effect. Now I am ready to add a quiz, and all I need to do is to click on the Add Quiz button. On this page, what is required by the system is the main tab. However, it is important to always set the attributes for your quiz. Later, let's check it out. In the meantime, let's put in some information about the quiz under the main tab. I will have a title for this quiz, and we'll also have a short description about it, most importantly letting the learners know the scope of the assessment. The system will also ask if there's a prior assessment that needs to be taken first, and if this is a mock quiz or an actual one. And lastly, on which topic is this quiz associated with. Now before hitting the save button to add items on the quiz, I will be checking first the attributes and see if I'd like to change something on the defaulted settings. Under the taking options, I can set some parameters on how I'd like the quiz to be conducted. First option is, I can have the students come back on the system to resume an unfinished assessment. I may also allow learners to skip or jump some questions. I can have them go back on the previous questions or items to re-review their answers, or allow them to try answering the question until they got it right. I can also let the student mark a question if they feel doubtful about a certain item. And also, I can have the results shown if they have passed the assessment. On Eduro, admins can also randomize the questions. However, please note of the difference between random questions and random order. Random questions means that, for example, the total item of the quiz may be just 10 items, but the questions are taken from a pool of questions, let's say 20 questions. On the other hand, random order means it will have the same set of 10 questions. For example, it's going to be the same 10 questions, but it will just be randomized. On this page, I can also set a feedback time. I can allow students to either provide a feedback at the end of the quiz or after each question. I can also switch this off. Answers to the questions are also shown to the students on default, and I'll stick with that. I will skip this assign action option. The Eduro LMS also allows you to set the number of attempts that the learners are given. On my end, I will set it to just 3 attempts, so that I'll be able to reach out to a student if they're having some difficulty passing the exam on that given number of attempts. Let's check the Result Comments tab. If a student have passed the assessment, he will get a short message. I'll name it Congratulations, and will set the range from 75% to 100%. I will also create another one for scores below 75%, letting students know that they can still retake the assessment. On the Pass or Fail options tab, I will put the passing percentage score and also put a summary text if ever a student have passed the assessment. On the availability options, admins can set on when the quiz is available for the students. I can always have the assessment available anytime if I have a check mark on the always available option. Or I can also set this quiz to be available in the future and have a deadline on up until when it can only be taken. I will keep the default settings on the last 4 tabs and will now hit the save button to create my items on the quiz. And by the way, before hitting the save button, always note that you can have this settings remembered by the system so that this will apply on every assessment that you are to create. Let me now show you how to create items or questions for your assessment. When creating questions for the quiz, admins have 2 options. I can create new questions by clicking this button, or I can grab some previously created questions from this section. I'll browse through them and have a checkmark for the question that I'd like to be included on this quiz. Admins can also use the filter section if there's already a lot of questions saved on the LMS. Since this is the very first time I'm creating a quiz for this course, I don't think I'll be adding questions from this list. So let me remove it and add new questions. I will click on the Create New Questions button, and it will then show me a list of the type of questions that I can create on the system. Admins can have a long answer type of questions. Here, students are asked to provide their answers through sentences or paragraphs. What admins need to do is to define the basis of scoring. We suggest that this type of question is used sparingly, as it involves a lot of time making tutors or admins manually check this type of examination. So let's go back and check other types of questions that can be added on the LMS. Let's check multiple choice and how it is utilized on the LMS. In adding multiple choice question, I will have my question here. I will also have a title for this question to distinguish it from the other questions that I previously made. Each question also has its own settings. I will now create the alternatives or the answer for the question. I will have a check mark for the right answer and will leave anything that is incorrect without a check mark. Click the Add More Alternatives button to add more selection. On the Advanced option, I can have additional message or information for the wrong or right answer. Here's how you do it. Now, before saving this question, I will just make sure that this is going to be associated on the correct module, and I will hit save. So I am notified by the system that a multiple choice question has been created. I also got a message on top of it asking me if I should edit the question that I just created. For now, I'll just keep it that way. I'll create another question with a definitive answer. Let's try creating a true or false question. I will have my question in here, and then I will scroll down to identify on the system which is the correct answer. On this example, it is said that climate change has a huge impact on animal diseases, so the answer will be true. I will then again make sure that this is uploaded on the right module, and then we'll hit on the save button. I will now create a matching question. On this section, I will have either a question or a summary about it. To distinguish it from other questions that I created, I also will have a title for it. Just below the title section, I can see a chart wherein there are actually 3 columns: a question, a correct answer, and a feedback. All I need to do is supply this with information, and that's how you create a matching question. You can also see that the maximum score for the matching question is 5, since we have completed all 5 items. Now, the last question that I'd like to create is a short answer question. Let's create one. Okay, so I will have my question on this section, and we'll also have a title for this quiz. Now, the most important thing to take note on this type of question is the evaluation method. I will set it to automatic and not case sensitive, and will also put in the correct answer, which is anatomy. Now please note that the answer is not needed to be supplied if this will be manually scored. Check again on which module is it going to be associated with, and then click save. Now all of my 4 questions has been successfully saved on the LMS. Now the Eduro LMS also allow admins to check the test. You can do that by clicking on this take button at the top. Now you will see the attributes that we set previously on this page. That's how you create quizzes on the Eduro LMS. Thanks for watching.